No one warns you that if you shine too brightly, you will make others uncomfortable, that if you're endlessly kind, you'll attract predators, that if you're transparent in a world of masks, you will bleed. But still, you insist. Do you think the world values authenticity? Do you think being good will guarantee good outcomes? Do you believe generosity will open doors? And then the blow comes? A friend betrays you. A partner takes advantage of your giving nature. A boss uses you and then replaces you. You don't even know when it happened, how you stopped being the protagonist and became a resource, a tool, a stepping stone. That's when you realize it wasn't because you were weak, it was because you lacked strategy. And Machiavelli had already warned us centuries ago. He who is good in a world of the cunning becomes prey. This video is not an apology for cruelty. It is a warning for the naive, a guide for those tired of being taken for granted, for those who gave everything and received nothing. Let's dismantle the lie that being good is enough. I'll show you how to continue being light without letting others dim you. But first, you must face the darkness. Because if you don't understand why everyone wants something from you, you'll never learn to use that to your advantage. And when you finish this video, you'll see the world differently, not as a victim, but as a strategist. Perhaps you haven't noticed, but every person who approaches you carries a hidden hunger. It's not always about money. Sometimes it's validation, sometimes companionship. Sometimes it's the feeling of power they get from knowing you'll always be there no matter what. And you, without realizing it, have been giving them everything. Your attention, your time, your listening, your empathy, your endless availability. Then, when you stop giving, they get upset. Not because you did something wrong, but because they had grown used to using you. It's not out of malice, it's human nature. People settle where there is no resistance and take advantage where no price is set. This is what Machiavelli understood better than anyone. Power is not just about visible authority. It's about knowing your worth and not giving it away freely. But you never measured it. You never took emotional inventory. You never asked yourself how many times you helped people who would never do the same for you. And now you're empty. The problem isn't giving. The problem is not knowing when to stop. Want to know how many people truly value you? Set boundaries. Say no just once. Stop being always available and observe. Most won't thank you for what you gave. They'll get angry about what you stopped giving. And there it becomes clear. True respect doesn't come from giving everything. It comes from knowing when to say enough. Machiavelli said, "It's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He wasn't referring to physical terror. He meant being someone with such clear boundaries that no one dares to cross them. People don't respect those who always yield. They respect those who don't need to explain their decisions, who say little but leave a mark, who can disappear and be missed. Because in this world, those who don't know how to charge for what they give end up emotionally indebted to everyone. And no one pays that debt for you. You've spent all this time trying to be visible, to be useful, to always be there, and didn't realize that the more available you are, the less you're valued. Have you noticed? When you were the one who replied instantly, who said yes to everything, who listened to everyone's problems, even when no one listened to yours, what did you get in return? Silence, absence, and the worst punishment of all, being taken for granted. And it hurts. It hurts because you believed that giving everything would be enough, that love, friendship, and respect were earned through selfless giving. Machiavelli said it plainly. People forget the death of their father more quickly than the loss of their inheritance. It's brutal, but it's true. People remember more what you gave them than what you suffered for them. They remember more what they got from you than what they took away. And you keep giving. You keep waiting. You keep believing that one day they'll see everything you did for them. But they won't, because those who are always there become invisible. That's why one of the greatest acts of power is to disappear, not as punishment, but as strategy. Silence is not weakness, it is scarcity. And scarcity creates value. Have you noticed? Those who give the least, who hold back, who make you wait, they seem to be more valued. And it's because they understand a simple truth. Attention is not a gift, it's an asset. Want to reclaim your power? Start treating your presence like a luxury, not like free water. Your time, your energy, your listening, your gaze, your embrace, all of that has value. And the easier it is to get, the less it's valued. This is the game no one taught you, a game where the winner is not the one who gives the most, but the one who knows when and to whom to give, where rewards don't go to the most generous, but to the one who knows they are needed and acts accordingly. And if you want to become that person, there is one rule you must never forget. Never give everything to someone who has earned nothing, because every time you do, you break yourself a little more. And one day, you won't know how to put yourself back together. Machiavelli wasn't asking you to be cruel. He was asking you to be conscious, to understand that power is not begged for, not pleaded for, not shouted. Power is built in silence while others underestimate you. And when the moment comes, you simply act, without warning, without asking permission, and without regret. There is a truth that hurts, but sets you free. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected. Because affection without respect is possession, is whim, is interest disguised as tenderness. And how will you know the difference? Simple, when you say no, and they stop talking to you. When you set a boundary and they call you selfish. When you choose yourself and they say you've changed. That's when you'll understand. They never loved you. They only needed you. And though that hurts, it gives you a superpower. The power to not need to be liked by everyone. Most people don't want to be free. They want to be accepted. And for that acceptance, many give away everything, their time, their peace, their dignity. They silence what they think, do what they don't want, become what others expect. But in exchange for what? An illusion? A pat on the back? An "I love you" that depends on how useful you are? Machiavelli warned, people's love is fickle, conditional, and easily lost in adversity. But respect, once earned, withstands the storm. Here's a brutal question. Why do so many people love you when you're silent, but fear you when you speak? Because the world is not designed for free people. It's designed for predictable people. And predictability is born from fear. Fear of bothering, of losing affection. But you are not here to please. You are here to exist firmly. Want people to respect you? Start by respecting yourself. Don't give your time to those who won't return it. Don't explain your worth to those who already doubted it. Don't ask for permission to be who you are. Whoever needs you to explain why you're valuable has already decided you're not. You are not here to convince anyone. You are here to become someone who cannot be ignored, and that is not achieved by shouting. It is built from within in silence, where no one applauds, but you know your worth. Machiavelli knew it. It's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. And he wasn't referring to inspiring terror. He meant that respect is stronger than affection, because respect is born when others recognize that you are not manipulable, that you are not always available, that you know when to be silent, when to speak, and when to leave, and that, even if they don't say it, unsettles them. It forces them to see you differently, to think twice. That is the root of real power. When your very presence changes others' behavior without shouting, without threats, simply by being someone who has nothing to prove. Because when you no longer need to be liked, you begin to become immense. Do you know what the true source of authority is? It's not strength, it's not intelligence, not even experience. It's self-control. We live in a time when everyone reacts. A look can unnerve you, a comment can break you, a criticism burns like fire, and worst of all, you make yourself small just to avoid bothering others, to avoid judgment, to maintain relationships that are already emotional prisons. But there is a moment, just one, when something inside you changes. You no longer explain. You no longer justify. You no longer chase after those who don't value you, and in that moment, you begin. You begin to master yourself, to respond instead of react, to observe without despair, to wait without begging. That is power, and no one can fake it. Machiavelli wrote that man must know how to behave like a beast and like a man. Do you know why? Because if you're only rational, you'll be defeated by those who know how to play dirty. And if you're only instinct, you'll be controlled like an impulsive animal. True power lies in balancing the beast and the sage within you. And that requires one thing very few have: emotional discipline. They made you angry? Wait. They betrayed you? Smile. They underestimated you? Keep going. Every time you respond without losing yourself, you show the world that your center is not outside. It is within. The weak need to explode to feel strong. The powerful stay silent and calculate, because those who master their emotions are not only free, they are feared. And that generates something that cannot be taught in books or achieved with motivational phrases. Presence. Presence is not volume, it's energy. It's walking into a room and making others adjust, not because you shout, but because you don't need to. And here's the most brutal difference between the weak and the ruthless. The weak break under conflict. The ruthless sharpen themselves with it. The weak seek to be understood. The ruthless seek to be impossible to ignore. And you are not here to be understood. You're here to make such a strong difference that those who don't understand it have no choice but to respect it. Respect is not asked for. It is not negotiated. It is provoked. And whoever denies you that respect should learn to live without your presence. Do you know what all those who once led empires, changed history, or left a mark that endured through centuries had in common? They weren't necessarily the strongest, the wisest, or the purest. They were the ones who stopped asking for permission. Because there is a huge difference between living and claiming your place, between existing and taking up your space. You can spend your whole life waiting to be valued, to be chosen, to be understood for your kindness, your intentions, your effort to be recognized. But the world does not reward waiting. It rewards audacity.